What's up, everybody? I'm Spazly, and this is going to be my series that I'm titling The Dungeon Master's Journal. I started playing D&D a few years ago, unfortunately in the time of 4th edition. So we know what kind of a cluster that thing was, and I had a big group of friends that wanted to play. So I decided that I would jump on the grenade and I would be the dungeon master. Everyone that I was playing with had never played before, so there were no old rule sets that we could go off of. We only had this new version that um, sucked. But I did what I could. I read through the books, and then I wrote down my own adventure. And a lot of the things that we did in the very beginning were fun. Some of the things that we did are still like talked about nowadays around the table. But there was the problem of not knowing what to do next. And it ended up that our group kind of had a falling out. So fast forward a little bit, one of my favorite YouTubers, Matt Colville, did his Running the Adventure campaign, and I loved it. And I decided it was time to try and jump into this again. So I got my friends together and we decided to roll the dice, see where we landed. By the way, link down in the description for that. Matt Colville, great guy. So me and my friends had a blast. We had a good time. We made our way through the dungeon, saved Pip or whatever his name was, and brought him back. So it was time to run something else, which I decided was The Lost Mines of Phandelver. We made it just a few sessions before we ended up having a falling out again. And this mainly consisted of scheduling, but relationships were also somewhat involved with this. So I learned a couple of things. First, scheduling is a bitch. Second, don't invite girlfriends. They're never going to make it all the way through. But in running this, I also felt pretty confident. Like, I finally kind of knew what I was doing. So, in all of my infinite wisdom, I decided to invite some of my more hardcore D&D friends to play. I figured they would adhere more to scheduling than anybody else, really, because they already know they love the game. Well, on our first session, I decided to nearly TPK all of them. And unfortunately, that group fell out and we did not continue to play. Maybe they thought I was mean. But just in the past 6 months, I've finally decided that I should try virtual tabletop, to which I purchased many of the books and some of the content on Fantasy Grounds. On Fantasy Grounds, scheduling is still tough, but people are a lot more likely to log onto their computer, boot up a webcam, than they are to drive all the way to my house. And also, let's not forget Corona, jacking everything up. I've almost ran my first entire campaign. I'm actually just one play session away from completing it. And I got to tell you, I love it. We've had a great time. And one of the best things that I did was that I invited 2 new players that had never played before. And I also invited 2 veteran players, people that could help me still learn. And it's been great. They've been able to help me along the way, figuring out different rules, the way different classes play, spells, etc. Blah blah blah. You know the jam. It's a lot. It's a lot. I feel a ton more confident now. I feel like I could run one without veteran players and still be able to hold my own, not sound like I'm completely dumb to the rules. One thing that is helping with all of this is that we're also learning how to play Fantasy Grounds. So even the veteran players were dumb to this, but I can tell you that it is worth it. It is a pain in the butt to learn at first, but once you get it down, it's amazing. It's so intuitive. I'd say about 75 to 80% of it is done for you once you get it set up. Highly recommend Fantasy Grounds. If you haven't tried it out, try it. Just find somebody online that wants to run it. I mean, there's a big community out there. Talk to me. Maybe we could set up a game. I'm down. So the conclusion of this is that I've decided to make a virtual journal of my game sessions and the lessons that I have learned from it. There's a ton of content online that you can watch that are veteran dungeon masters giving advice, and I highly recommend all those things. But there are a few where it's a new dungeon master, such as myself, where you're still learning along the way, and sometimes you just need somebody that's on that same level with you. So I've decided to jump on that grenade again and be that fella. So, as the Southern Dungeon Master, Spasley, what do you say? Why don't we roll initiative? See if we can kill some monsters and maybe a PC or two. Anyway, I hope that you like this. I'm going to be making many more videos of this kind of thing. There's definitely going to be more mechanics inside of it. And if there's anything in particular that you can think of that you'd like to see, make sure to comment below and let me know what it is. And if you like this and you want to continue watching these, please subscribe to my channel. I will also be posting our game sessions that we've played. I have almost the entire adventure down right now for the Lost Mines of Phandelver. So I hope to see you again very soon. Catch you next time.